Vishnuparaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine
Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavare Pratyachari Chadarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavare Pratyachari Chadarine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Swami Srivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnuvad Purnamanastri Prajacharya Ashtotra Sri Srimad Desi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Shamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, and thank you everyone for being here for Srimad Bhagavatam class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Wednesday, June 28th, 2023, and we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 20, which is entitled Conversation Between Maitreya and Vidura. tonight we're starting with text number 36 and looking forward to hearing everyone's comments and questions, and glad you could be with us, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How's our volume?
Now it sounds good.
It's okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 And we're in Albany, New York, at the home of Chandravamshi Prabhu. And we're on third canto, let's get it right, chapter 20, text 36. Naikotrate jayati shalini pada padmam gnantya muhu karatolena patat patangam madhyam vishidati brihatstana parapitam shanteva drishtiramala shushika samuhaha. The demon said, "O beautiful woman, when you strike the bouncing ball against the ground with your hand again and again, your lotus feet do not stay in one place. Oppressed by the weight of your full-grown breasts, your waist becomes fatigued, and your clear vision grows dull, as it were. Pray, braid your comely hair." Purport. The demons observed beautiful gestures in the woman's every step. Here they praise her full-grown breasts, her scattered hair, and her movements in stepping forward and backward while playing with the ball. In every step, they enjoy her womanly beauty. And while they enjoy her beauty, their minds become agitated by sex desire. As moths at night surround a fire and are killed, so the demons become victims of the movements of the ball-like breasts of a beautiful woman. The scattered hair of a beautiful woman also afflicts the heart of a lusty demon. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Vande Hang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raghunatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Samadvaitam Savatutam Vijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Pyaeva Patidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. So here we're continuing the theme of agitating the mind for sense gratification. Sarvan Partha Manogata. Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogata. The living entity has nothing to do with material enjoyment. It's unconstitutional for him. He's a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he adopts the false mood of an enjoyer and becomes entangled. Purusha Prakriti Stohi, Apunkte Prakriti Jan Gunan, Karanam Guna Sangasya, Sadasadyoni Janashu. He has different speculative ideas about, I could enjoy like this, I could enjoy like that. And so he gets stuck in the material entanglement and takes birth in higher species, lower species. This is going on. So it's due to the business of the mind. The woman they're seeing is not even a woman. She's the twilight, which they imagine to be a woman. But as I mentioned the other evening, Satsrup Maharaj, when this, while editing this section, asked Srila Prabhupada, was this a real woman or imaginary woman? Prabhupada said, either way, it's imaginary.
That's right.
So they're imagining and they're obsessing. You know, the mind is getting caught on, oh, her feet, oh, her breasts, oh, her waist, oh, her eyes, oh, her hair, oh, her movements, oh. And mind becomes, what is that? Jayato Vishaya Pumsam. Sangha Steshu Jayata. They meditating on the beautiful form of the woman, and then their minds become absorbed. So, and in this way they become entangled. And the lusty desire grows. By meditating on the form of the woman and imagining she might be like this, she must be like that, they become more and more agitated. The mind doesn't become peaceful by meditating on the form of a woman. It becomes more and more agitated. And that's what's happening here. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, O praiseworthy woman, your feet do not remain still. Patat Patangam means a bouncing ball or the setting sun. So they imagine the setting sun to be a ball. Because your waist is thin, it appears to be getting weak with the weight of your breasts. So they're just going on and on. What do they know? But they're imagining, oh, the weight here and those, such a thin waist and such large breasts. Means their minds are becoming totally absorbed in thought of this false beauty. Your glance is without desire, Amala, though internally you have desire. They're again not imagining. Well, she appears to be like this, but she must be like that. She must be burning up with desire, as we're burning up with desire for her. All mental speculation. And the scattered hair is also attractive. The modern style, Western style especially, is to have the hair all over the place so that And then the mind becomes agitated, seeing the hair this way, that way. Scattered or not scattered, a man becomes attracted by the beautiful hair of the woman. And therefore women devote a large percentage of their time to making their hair seem beautiful. But then this attraction is like the attraction of the moth for the fire. The Prabhupada said the fire doesn't jump out at the moth. The moth voluntarily enters the fire and dies. So the man is attracted to birth and death in the form of the beautiful woman. The Kendra Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I was just thinking about two things. One is an early exchange between Prabhupada and the early ISKCON lawyer Stephen Goldsmith and Hayagriva, where Stephen Goldsmith is protesting that why should there be any restriction on sex? That's a bad thing. And the conversation progresses. And finally, Prabhupada says, it's just like the itching sensation. You have to learn how to tolerate it. And then he gave the example of, chanting with his fingers. And then I thought it's remarkable how these demons are emblematic of every materialistic demon there ever was, because while they have this insane and insatiable desire to enjoy everything, like in this case, they have the illusion that the twilight is a woman. They have that insatiable desire that is it's part of it's part of being in the material world, is that you have the desire to enjoy, yet you're not, like you were saying, constitutionally, you're not the enjoyer. So you have the desire, but you're completely unable to do it. So it's just like a perpetuating, maddening cycle that drives you on, and you get nowhere ever.
Yeah. And as you said, kanduryanena karayori vadukaduk. They're just increasing the itch and then scratching more and then itching more. So where's tripyanti nehas? There's no satisfaction. Bahudukabhajam, just increasing their miseries. And as you said, it's like any demon who ever was, this is their preoccupation. Different arrangements for somehow or other enjoying sense gratification, especially through sex life. And even if they don't have, anyway, we won't go there, but they're always agitating their minds for sense enjoyment. And the internet has made everything worse. The internet fantasy land only agitates the mind more. Praveen says, moths are burnt by being victims of fire. Are the demons killed by being victims of woman? Yes, because Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhunte Prakriti. They want to enjoy the beautiful woman. Beautiful woman means Maya. And the more we want to enjoy Maya, the more we become entangled. And entanglement means birth and death. So they become attracted to the beautiful woman. Maybe they marry the woman, maybe they don't marry the woman, maybe this, maybe that, but they become bound voluntarily. They bind themselves to sex, and sex means death. We were hearing that in this classic essay the other evening by Rupindra Swarup Prabhu called Immortal Longings, which was published many years ago in Back to Godhead. And he expertly makes the case that ultimately sex means death. They think that it means enjoyment, but it ultimately results in continued birth and death. So yes, as the moths, it's not an idle comparison. As the moth is attracted to the fire and is killed, they're attracted to sex enjoyment. They're attracted to a beautiful woman. And the result is continued birth and death. Not only one death, but continued birth and death. Any questions, comments here?
It says that the whole, more or less, the whole world revolves around sex life.
The whole world revolves around sex.
Hmm.
If you want to sell anything, then it's sex. Nothing sells like sex. If you want your book to sell, if you want your movie to sell, it has to be sex.
An example, Maharaj, of Ajamil become lusty over.
Yeah, Jamil
Mhm.
mind became agitated by seeing, or even that Shobari Rishi, he became agitated by seeing some fish having sex. He thought, wow, they're enjoying, I'm not. Then he had to suffer.
Sometimes we think of the demon to be an external personality.
Excuse me?
Sometimes we think of the demon, when we refer to the demon, of an external personality. And also that demon resides right within us also.
Yeah, the demons are external, but the lusty desires of the demons are there in our hearts also. And in the chat box, the link is there for Rabindra Sri Prabhu's article on Krishna.com. Okay. Itish sayantanim sandhyam asura pramadayatim pralopayantim jagarhur vatva mudhatiyastriyam. The Asuras, clouded in their understanding, took the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman, showing herself in her alluring form, and they seized her. Purport: the Asuras are described here as murdha dhiya, meaning that they are captivated by ignorance, just like the ass. The demons were captivated by the false, glaring beauty of this material form, and thus they embraced her. In the Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Asat Grahan, in the 16th chapter, Pravartate Shuchivata. Let's see. Mohad grihit vasad grahan pravartante shuchivata. Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madan vitaha. Mohad grihit vasad grahanam pravartante shuchivata. This is the Bhagavad Gita 16:10. Kamam ashritya. Just as the devotees take shelter of Krishna, they take shelter of Madan Mohan, and the demons take shelter of Madan. The demons take shelter of Maya, of lust, actually. They think lust will make us happy. They're spending money to increase their lusty business, to get more involved in lusty affairs. They're spending money, they're investing their everything. Taking shelter of lust. Lust will make us happy. Lust means sex.
So they're taking shelter of sex. By sex, I'll become happy. And they dress it up, love. By love, I'll be happy. But same business, sex enjoyment. So kamam ashrita, they take shelter of this sex as a way of life, practically. But dushpuram means never satisfied. It's not that, all right, it's like fire. You however much fuel you feed to it, fire doesn't say, oh, that was good enough. It grows and it wants more. It wants more. Dushpuram means not able to be satisfied. Even their estimation of what the enjoyment is supposed to be is so great that they can never actually be sad. It's supposed to be the greatest thing, and you become so happy, but it doesn't work like that. So then they're dissatisfied. So then there's marriages break up or the relationships break up because we're not satisfied. You can never be satisfied. Kamamashra dushpura. They take shelter of lusty desires. They have a wife and a girlfriend, or a wife and a prostitute. And try this, try that. Try a woman, try a man, try anything. This way, that way. And still they're not satisfied. Kamamashra dushpuram. And dambha manam madandata. They become bewildered by pride and false prestige. That's another, because sex increases passion. Passion increases this pride and arrogance, a sense of being great, because he's able to have sex. He thinks, now I'm Julius Caesar. Even there's the leading brand of condoms in the United States is Trojan. The man imagined himself to be a great warrior. He's a pathetic little fool that he imagines that the nature of sex is that by sex now he thinks he's a great hero.
Double illusion.
Double and triple. And the woman says some flattering words, and his mind goes to pieces. Not to pieces, it goes greater and greater heights of illusion. And similarly, he says some flattering words to her, and she also becomes illusioned. Moha grihit vasagraha. This phrase is very significant. Mohad means by illusion. Grihitva, grabbing. Asadgraha, grabbing onto something that can't be, that's not there. Asad means not real or temporary, bad. Asatgraha, like the trying to grasp fruits in the water when it's only the reflection of the fruit. So naturally they're frustrated. Naturally they're taking tranquilizers and antidepressants and this and that. Or they're taking, on the one side, they're taking drugs to try to increase their virility. And then on the other side, antidepressants. The two go together. Well, asatgraha, grihitva asatgraha, grasping for something that can't be achieved, or even if you achieve it, it disappears. Or they think they're grabbing one thing, but they're really grabbing another. They're mistaking a rope for a snake. That's illusion, or a snake for a rope. So they're imagining the twilight to be a beautiful woman. They're imagining the beautiful woman to be a source of their happiness. This is all Maya's arrangement. And pravartante shuchivrata, agitated in this way by minds absorbed in sense gratification, they become busy in dirty business. Ashuchivrata, they become dirty old men, or sex addicts, actually, or the sex becomes the impetus for greater and greater achievements in the world. The cities and their great buildings and the great enterprises are all just extensions of sex. They're all extensions of sex. A sex desire manifests itself in all this exfoliation of material achievement, which of course is full of which is nasty, nasty enterprises, especially the demons. That's what spurs them on, their prospects of sex enjoyment. Tulsi Priya, I remember once reading a letter written to advice columnist Ann Landers. The man had been very depressed and was prescribed medication. The medication worked, and he was no longer depressed, but he said he no longer had sex desire. Ann Landers thought this was a problem and advised him to get treatment for that. I thought it amusing that she didn't see that she was telling him to pursue that which would cause future depression. Yes, they think if you don't have a lot of sex desire, something's wrong. You don't have a lot of sex desire, something's wrong. And so they have their various medications to try to increase that. Even in Ayurveda, they have that to try to increase sex desire. So it's a fever means disease, and they want to increase the fever. If the fever goes down, they think there's something wrong. This is their Maya. Anything else?
Yes, Maharaj. The external energy of Krishna, which Krishna says this is my divine energy, which consists of the three moods of material nature, is very difficult to overcome.
Yeah, Krishna says,
Maya.
Mama Maya Dhiratrya, this material energy of mine is consisting of the three modes of nature, is difficult to overcome. Yes. You just wanted to comment that you wanted to make that comment.
No, Maharaj.
He wants you to make the comment.
Wanted me to make a comment? Well, this is what comment would you?
Come out of it.
How strong it is.
So what do you want me to see? You just want me to speak about that verse, or what do you?
How can we get out of that?
Chant Hare Krishna. Maya me tam tarantite, ma me biye prapadyante. Maya me tam tarantite. Take shelter of Krishna, the holy name of Krishna. Then you can get free from Maya. This much only. Ravine says, just being lusty in itself qualifies one to be a demon. If so, then almost all men are demons. Well, as we've discussed the other day, of course, sex life means entanglement. It means material. The more one is attracted for sex life, the more materialistic. But dharmaviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi. When sex is accepted according to religious principles, within the restrictions of religious principles, and it's used for the service of Krishna, for having good children, then it's not demonic. Then Krishna says, Asmi, I'm that sex. It represents Krishna. So it's not demonic. Demonic basically means Shastra Vidamutsrija, putting aside the rules and regulations of the Shastra, Vartate Kamakarat, and acting according to one's own desires. It's not, my duty is this, it's, I want to do that. And especially in sex life, it becomes just for enjoyment. Let me enjoy this way, let me enjoy. And the enjoyment is not there. So they become frustrated. And at the end, what is it? I remember I read a very good book about Saudi Arabia and its founding. It was founded by an extraordinary man, Ibn Saud, who pulled the country together really from a batch of tribes. But he was quite sexually active, we should say. Sex was a big part of his life. And so he had so many women. After all, he was a king. He had so many women. But as he grew older, it wasn't the same anymore. And he tried younger women and tried this and tried that. And his doctors had best doctors. They had this potion and that potion. But he was an old man. What could he enjoy? The sex life. So the desire was still there, but the capability of fulfilling the desire was long gone, if it was ever there. Even the capability of acting on the desire was no longer within range. So, and you see the picture of him as an old man, and he's obviously not in ecstasy. So sex, is, according to regulative principles, for the sake of serving Krishna, is accepted. It's not demonic. It's considered a godly engagement. It's one of the ways that one can serve the Lord. But when it's accepted just for sense gratification, and one goes beyond the regulative principles, contraceptive methods, and all of these things, then it's considered demonic. Ananta Shesh says, working in a pharmacy, I've witnessed couples in their 80s coming to pick up these medications for virility. It was mind-blowing. Well, their minds were certainly blown. And it blows our minds also to see that these Tripyanti Neha Kripana. Kripana means misers. They've gotten the human form of life, but they have no higher idea than to use it for sense gratification. Kamo Papoga Paramam. So they're unhappy. They're unhappy. How much pleasure can the sex life give? How much meaning does sex life give to life? Even for a young person, it just gives the illusion of something wonderful. But pariname vishamiva, finally it becomes like poison. The nectar turns to poison. Means it wasn't nectar at all, but it gave the illusion of being nectar. And then later it becomes poison. Prabhupada gave there's a saying apparently in Hindi saying about the Dilika Ladu, some Ladu available in Delhi. If you get it or you don't get it, you're unhappy. If you don't get it, you're longing to taste this Dilika Ladu. And if you get it, it's too much. No, then you're unhappy in another way. So the sense gratification is like that. You get it or you don't get it. It's a problem. And this is the problem in old age, the pathetic aspect of old age, that they've lived their life with the hope of sense gratification, and now it's all being taken away. And what is there? They have no higher purpose, no higher source of fulfillment. So they're disappointed, and their life is ultimately meaningless because they've looked to meaning for sex. Kamamashritya dushpuram, their shelter. We have to, like women, they need a man to take shelter of. Vines need a trellis to take shelter of. The living entity needs to take shelter. So he's meant to take shelter of Krishna, but when he takes shelter of lust, he's going to be disappointed. Mohad grihit vasagra. He's taking shelter of something which is going to collapse, or which is going to turn out to be nothing. Kierkegaard's is quoted by Tulsi Priya: marry and you will regret it. Don't marry, you will also regret it. Marry or don't marry, you will regret it either way. Yeah, I think that advice is at least as old as Socrates, maybe older. But either way, so sense gratification is problematic or troublesome in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Anything else? Yes,
There are a few more things in the chat box, Maharaj.
there are. Okay, let's scroll down then.
Up above where Tulsi Priya had
Scroll
written.
up, I see. Okay. Above Tulsi Priya, let's see. Is there sex in the heavenly planets that is not for recreation and not sinful? I'm not planning to go, only curious. Very good. Curiosity killed the cat, Murari. Is there sex in the heavenly planets? Yes, there is. That is not for recreation and not sinful. In the heavenly planets, I can't really answer. I don't have a good answer. Generally, I don't have an answer. That's not for recreation and not sinful. At least generally it's taken that sinful reactions come upon the living entity in Martyaloka, in the middle planetary systems. But enjoyment in the higher planetary systems reduces their pious credit. So at least we can say that. At least we can say
Hi,
that.
Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Murari.
I'm sorry, I meant procreation, not recreation.
I see.
A Freudian slip.
Well, yeah, I misread it anyway as being for recreation, which means not for procreation. From the accounts we hear, there's a lot of sex going on in the heavenly planets that's not for procreation. that is for recreation. And I can't say anything about sinful reactions that might be attached to that. It appears to be a prerogative of the heavenly planets, but what kind of entanglement it results in is, I don't have a Shastric reference for you on it. The Praveen says, so since it's okay in marriage with sex resulting in progeny, would husbands be considered demoniac if they think lustfully of their wives as the demons were thinking of the girl? Not as far as I understand. There has to be some lust or some desire for sense enjoyment. Otherwise, there's no progeny. We'll find later in third canto that when Karda Muni and Devahuti were together, and there was a desire for a child, then there had to be, she couldn't go on being skinny and austere looking and all of that. She had to be beautiful. She had to be beautiful. So all these maid servants were created to make her, to attend to her, and she became very beautiful because the husband has to be attracted. Otherwise, there can't be lust. Some man has to be attracted to the woman, otherwise there's not going to be progeny. So the Kama Shastra is actually meant for that. In the West, they're, a bestseller among the Vedic literature is Kama Shastra, I suppose. And it's taken as being just for sense gratification. But the essence of it is, as far as I understand, I haven't read the texts, that the idea is how the man will be attracted to the beauty of the woman. And the attraction will result in good children. So there has to be, we can say lust, desire for enjoyment. And Krishna says, Dharmaviruddha kamosmi. There has to be lust, kama, desire. Generally, we think of lust as being excessive desire, illegal desire, but there's acceptable lust. Actually, lust is a problem in any case. Therefore, Prabhupada said that marriage is a concession for sense gratification. We're better off without such desires and such engagements. But all right, if we're not able to do without it, then let it be regulated. And when it's regulated, then it's not considered demonic. It's not considered demonic, just like eating. And eating is not bad, but when we eat too much, or we eat indiscriminately, meat, fish, eggs, anything, then it's demonic. But eating is not demonic. But one should eat according to the rules and regulations for eating. Then it's not demonic. So sex is not demonic, or sex desire is not demonic. Actually, that's the purpose, that if the man is going to be lusty, then be lusty for your wife. That when the acharyas discuss this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Dharmaviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi, that's what they say. That Dharmavirud means with one's wife in married life, within the rules for begetting good children. So that means once a month, not more. And for the purpose of having a good child. They say that's Dharmavirud. So that's not demonic at all. That's accepted, yes. Krishna says this represents me. But although it's not demonic, still it's materially entangling. It's materially entangling. Something doesn't have to be demonic. Just like very nice, tasty food. It's not demonic, but if we become attached to nice, tasty food, we have to come back again to this material world for nice, tasty food. And the senses also become agitated, uncontrolled. Where's the nice, tasty food? So that finally we have to become free from these things. Therefore, in the 3 ashrams, there's no sex. In the brahmacharya ashram, no sex. Vanaprastha ashram, no sex. Sannyasa ashram, no sex. The idea is to become free from this material attachment. Mukunda Cholan.
Actually, I raised my hand, but then you clarified further, and so my question isn't so relevant, or needed. But I was going to ask about the distinction between demoniac and sinful, and then but you kind of distinguished when you mentioned that things can still be entangling, well, not demonic. But maybe now I'm thinking there's 3 categories, such as on the topic of food, there's demonic things that people eat, but then even vegetarian things could be eaten sinfully if not offered. And then even those things which are offered could still be entangling if one's overeating opulent prasadam and so on. And it seems the same with sex life, and that's what I was going to ask about, because I remember when asked one senior devotee, he was explaining as that there's illicit sex life. It's not sinful as long as it's in marriage, but then if it's not for children, it's entangling. So he was making some distinction there. So I was wondering to hear your thoughts on that.
A misunderstanding that marriage, sex life within marriage, you can mute yourself there, thank you. Sex life within marriage and not for children is not sinful. That's a misunderstanding. Srila Prabhupada makes it very clear that sex life, not according to, after all, Krishna says, dharma aviruddha. I'm sex life that's not contrary to regulative principles. So that kind of sex life is dharmic. It's accepted as dharma. But the sex life to the contrary is adharmic. Adharmic means sinful. And Prabhupada, well, we've quoted it before. We'll look at our little quote collection. Not so little, actually, anymore. Where's that? I think I know where that is. Yeah. Anyway, I think I don't have that file right at hand. But the meaning is the quotes are abundant from Srila Prabhupada to this effect that sex life, not for having, for any purpose other than having children, is sinful. He's straight out about it. He's very clear about it. And with contraceptive methods in particular, Prabhupada says very sinful. So the idea that there's sinful sex life, and then there's married life where sex is all not sinful. No. It's not my sannyasi bias or something. This is the straightforward reading of what Prabhupada says, that sex life within marriage, without the intention of having children, is sinful. And especially, generally that means contraceptives, Prabhupada says, are very sinful. So it's adharma. But when it's accepted for the purpose of having children, then it's considered a representation of Krishna. Prabhupada's quite radical in this regard. You know, it's the whole world is saying that sex is good, or at least, you know, in marriage it's good. This is what you need for a healthy marriage. And Prabhupada says, no, it's not good. It's only good for the sake of having children. One of my friends, I don't have to say that, but anyway, and it's not that this is just theoretical, but the strict followers of Dharma, this is what they follow. This is what they follow. They don't follow this notion that married life means a ticket for as much sex as one wishes to have. And Krishna consciousness means serious business. You know, we're not just like a little ribbon that we put on you're like a little ribbon that we put on your chest or something, a little shine on our material life. As Prabhupada said, I have my car, I have my house, I have my wife, I have my guru, you know, all my material assets really. But the Krishna consciousness means a serious project for getting out of this material existence, for curing the disease of material life. And Prabhupada said, Bhagavatam says, the physician doesn't encourage the patient to take something that's going to be unhealthy for him. Not that because the patient wants some food, even though it will be bad for his health, the physician says, yes, take it. No. He remains strict that no, you don't take this. It will be bad for your health. You'll have setback, relapse. So this sex life is allowed, but and therefore married life is there as a concession. That yes, regulated sex life, but not that regulated is more regulated than one might otherwise think. It's serious business. Tulsi Priya, we just have a couple more comments and then we'll end. Tulsi Priya says, but if we eat, we're implicated in karmic reaction if it's not offered, since eating involves taking life from other living entities, even if only vegetables. So still not demonic. Well, I'm not the person to say, are vegetarians demonic? In the Bhagavad Gita, it's not said demonic, but sinful. Still sinful. Amritamsha says a good rule of thumb is to take the dharmic path when in doubt. A good rule of thumb is to take the dharmic path always. When in doubt, not in doubt, always. which I think is what you mean. Yes. All right, we're at 8 o'clock. We should stop here. And if there are any questions that devotees here still have, we can talk more. But we should have another 5 minutes of kirtan. You want to lead again? Someone else wants to lead? We have kirtan leaders here. Okay. Just Hare Krishna and 5 minutes and one tune. No jives needed, just Hare Krishna.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama
God, Holiness, Sukadi Braj, Charja, Stol, Krishna, AC, Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Raj, Kuba, Jai, Ananta Koti, Vaishnava, Jai, Nama Charja, Sri Haridas, Thakur, Jai, Thanks, Kaho, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Kaho, Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vashari Gaur, Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kundra Dhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Ramanamai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Thank you, Haridas. Thank you all. Hare Krishna. Just Hari Hari.
Thank you, Mark.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shara. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Kundit Fellow. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, and thank you to the local Kirtan band, and thank you everyone for being here. And hopefully we can see you all tomorrow, Thursday, for Chaitanya Charitamrita reading with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jayadvaita Maharaj ki jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.